Humans are known across the galaxy as weak, short-lived, and unimportant. The main human character, Ethan, is a former Earth soldier now working as a low-rank laborer for the Galactic Union. He keeps his sleeves down at all times. He never explains why. Other species mock him quietly. One day the alien princess arrives. She is calm, feared, and respected. She belongs to an ancient royal bloodline older than most civilizations. During a public inspection, Ethan is forced to help her directly. An accident happens. His sleeve tears. A tattoo on his arm is revealed. The symbol is old. Black lines. Sharp angles. Not written in any known modern language. The room goes silent. The princess freezes. Her confident voice trembles as she whispers, "So that's you, human." Guards panic. Nobles step back in fear. Ethan has no idea why everyone is suddenly afraid of him. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The space station Valkar Prime drifted in silence above a dying blue star. From the outside, it looked like a crown of metal and light, spinning slowly in the dark. From the inside, it was a city, cold, loud, and filled with creatures from 100 worlds. Long halls stretched like metal veins. Strange voices echoed in languages humans could not speak. Humans were the smallest presence there. They were not slaves. But they were not respected either. To the galaxy, humans were weak, short lives, thin bodies, soft skin, a race that survived only because stronger species allowed it. Ethan walked through the lower service corridor with his head down. He wore a gray worker's uniform. No rank, no symbols, just a number on his chest. His job was simple: move cargo, clean halls, repair panels no one else wanted to touch. He had learned long ago that looking confident only invited trouble. As he walked, a group of tall Raxian guards passed him. Their armor hissed softly as they moved. One of them glanced at Ethan and laughed. "Careful, little human," the guard said in broken common. "Don't break under your own gravity." The others laughed. Ethan said nothing. He kept walking. He had learned that silence was safer. His right arm was fully covered by his sleeve, even though the station air was warm. Sweat formed on his skin, but he did not roll the fabric up. He never did. Some workers had noticed. They whispered sometimes, but no one asked. On Valkar Prime, questions could be dangerous. That day was different. Every screen on the station suddenly lit up with the same symbol. A silver crest shaped like a rising star wrapped in a circle of fire. All movement stopped. A clear voice echoed through the halls. "Attention all personnel. Prepare for royal arrival. Clear primary corridors immediately." A royal arrival meant only one thing. The alien princess was coming. Ethan felt a strange tight feeling in his chest. The princess of the Aurelian Dominion was not just royalty. She was a legend. Her people ruled dozens of systems. Their bloodline went back farther than recorded galactic history. Some said she had never lost a battle. Others said she could read truth in a person's eyes. Ethan had never seen her before. He hoped he never would. But fate had other plans. Moments later, station supervisors rushed through the corridors, shouting orders. "You human," one barked, pointing at Ethan. "You're assigned to Corridor 7, Royal Escort Support." Ethan froze. "Sir, he began. "No arguments," the supervisor snapped. "You're close, move." Ethan swallowed and nodded. Corridor 7 was wide and bright, lined with glowing crystal panels. This was where high-ranking visitors passed. Ethan's job was simple: stand still, assist if ordered, stay invisible. He took his position near a tall pillar and clasped his hands behind his back. His heart beat faster. Then the corridor lights dimmed. A low hum filled the air. The princess arrived. She walked at the center of the group, tall and calm. Her skin shimmered like pale gold under the lights. Her eyes were deep violet, ancient and sharp. Flowing armor rested over her body, elegant but deadly. Every guard around her moved with perfect discipline. Everyone bowed. Even creatures twice her size lowered their heads. Ethan did the same. From his lowered position, he could feel her presence. It was heavy, like standing near a storm that had not yet decided to break. The group stopped near Ethan's position. One of the princess's advisors spoke softly. "This section requires inspection, Your Highness." She nodded once. Then her eyes moved. They stopped on Ethan. "Human," she said. Her voice was smooth but firm. Ethan stiffened. "Yes, Your Highness," he replied, keeping his head down. "You are assigned here?" she asked. "Yes." "Step forward." His pulse jumped. Slowly, Ethan stepped forward. As he moved, a sudden vibration shook the station. Not an attack, just a power fluctuation, but it was enough. The floor jolted. Ethan lost his balance and reached out to steady himself against the pillar. Fabric tore. The sound was small, but in the silent corridor, it was loud enough. Ethan froze. His sleeve had ripped open from wrist to elbow. The tattoo was visible. Black lines, sharp angles, old, faded in places but still clear. The symbol curved around his arm like it belonged there. The air changed. No one spoke. The guards stopped breathing. The princess stared. Her eyes widened. Her confident posture broke for the first time. She took one step back. Then her voice trembled. "So that's you, human." The words were barely louder than a whisper. But they carried fear. Real fear. Ethan looked around in confusion. The guards had raised their weapons, not at him but around him, protecting him. Others stared like they had seen a ghost. "My arm," Ethan asked carefully. The princess lifted a hand. "Lower your weapons," she commanded. Reluctantly, the guards obeyed. She walked closer. Slowly, carefully. Her eyes never left the tattoo. "That mark," she said, "where did you get it?" Ethan hesitated. "It's old," he said. "My grandfather had it. He said it was a family symbol." Her breath caught. "A family symbol," she repeated. She reached out, then stopped herself before touching it. "That symbol has not been seen in over 5,000 cycles," she said quietly. Ethan felt a chill. "I don't understand," he said. She straightened and turned to her guards. "Clear the corridor," she ordered. "No recordings, no witnesses." The guards moved instantly. Within seconds, the grand hallway was empty. Only Ethan and the princess remained. She looked at him again, this time not as a ruler, but as someone seeing the past return. "Human," she said, "do you know what the galaxy calls that mark?" Ethan shook his head. "They call it the Oath of Earth." His heart skipped. "Earth," he repeated. "Yes," she said, "but not the Earth you remember." She began to pace slowly. "Long before the Galactic Union existed, before my people ruled even one system, there was a war." She stopped in front of him. A war that nearly erased all life. Ethan listened, unable to speak. "The ones who stopped it," she continued, "were not gods, they were not machines." She met his eyes. "They were humans." Ethan laughed once softly. "That's not possible," he said. "We can barely defend ourselves now." Her expression hardened. "That," she said, "is what makes this terrifying." Alarms suddenly screamed through the station. Red lights flashed. A sharp voice echoed from every wall. "Unknown vessels detected. Emergency stations." The princess turned toward the ceiling, her jaw tight. "They found you," she said. Ethan stared at her. "Who?" he asked. She looked back at him. "The ones who ran from your ancestors." The station shook again, harder this time. She stepped closer and spoke fast. "Human Ethan, if what I believe is true, then your kind did not vanish." She bowed her head. "They chose to sleep." The tattoo on Ethan's arm began to glow faintly. And somewhere beyond the stars, something ancient had finally noticed. The alarms did not stop. They screamed through every corridor of Valkar Prime, echoing like a warning from the past. Red lights washed over the walls, turning metal into blood-colored shadows. The calm station from earlier was gone. Fear had replaced it. Ethan stood frozen as the floor vibrated beneath his feet. He had worked on the station for years. He had heard alarms before, small ones, routine ones. This was different. This was fear. The alien princess moved first. "Follow me," she said sharply. She did not wait for an answer. Ethan hesitated for only a second, then followed. His arm still burned softly, the tattoo glowing under his torn sleeve. He pulled the fabric tighter, but it did nothing to stop the light. They moved through side corridors, away from the main halls. Heavy doors sealed behind them one by one. "Your Highness," Ethan said as they walked, "what is happening?" She did not look at him. "The past has returned," she replied, "and it is angry." They entered a secure chamber deep within the station. Thick walls, shielded panels, ancient symbols carved into the metal, Aurelian protection runes. The doors sealed shut. For the first time since the alarms began, there was silence. The princess turned to face him. Up close, Ethan could see something he had not noticed before. Fear. Not panic, not weakness, but the fear of someone who knew exactly what was coming. "You deserve the truth," she said. Ethan nodded slowly. "Long ago," she began, "before the Union, before modern space travel, the galaxy burned." She raised her hand and a hologram appeared between them. Stars, worlds, fleets clashing in endless dark. "There was an enemy," she continued. "A force that consumed systems. They did not conquer, they erased." The image showed planets going dark. "My people fought them, we failed, others fought, they failed." The hologram shifted. Then something new appeared. Simple ships, rough designs, not elegant, not beautiful. Human ships. "They came from a small blue world," the princess said. "Earth." Ethan stared. "The humans were different," she said. "Not stronger, not faster, but stubborn." The ships moved in strange patterns. Traps, sacrifices, clever turns. They learned fast, adapted faster, and when they fought for each other. The enemy fleets began to fall back. "They won," she said softly, "at a cost." The image dimmed. When the war ended, humanity vanished. Ethan swallowed. "That's not what our history says," he replied. "We barely remember leaving Earth." She nodded. "Because you were meant to forget." She walked closer. "The enemy you see now," she said, "they survived, hiding, waiting." Her eyes dropped to his glowing arm. "And they remembered that mark." Ethan looked at it again. "All this because of a tattoo?" he asked. Her expression softened. "That is not a tattoo," she said. "It is a key." She explained slowly. The symbol was more than ink. It was a pattern, a trigger woven into human biology long ago. Not every human carried it. Only those whose ancestors made a choice. When the war ended, she said, human leaders knew something terrible. She paused. "If humanity stayed strong, the galaxy would fear you." Ethan frowned. "So we chose to be weak?" he asked. "No," she said firmly. "You chose to be safe." She explained how humans hid their knowledge, locked away technology. scattered themselves among the stars as workers, traders, wanderers. They erased their own legend. They left behind watchers, she said, bloodlines who would remember if the galaxy ever needed you again. Ethan felt his chest tighten. My grandfather, he whispered. Yes, she said, he was one. A violent impact shook the chamber. The station groaned. Enemy ships have breached outer defenses, a voice announced over internal systems. The princess closed her eyes for a moment. It has begun, she said. Ethan's arm burned hotter. Images flooded his mind. Not memories. Instructions. Formations, signals, old human commands buried deep. He gasped and dropped to one knee. The princess moved to him instantly. It is awakening, she said. Ethan gritted his teeth. I didn't ask for this, he said. She knelt beside him. Neither did your ancestors, she replied, but they stood anyway. The burning eased. Ethan stood slowly. He felt clearer, stronger, not in body, in purpose. They moved to the command deck. Chaos ruled the station now. Smoke filled the air. Damaged panels sparked. Alien officers shouted orders in dozens of languages. The enemy fleet filled the main screen. Dark ships, sharp shapes, no lights. They are broadcasting, an officer said. The princess stepped forward. Put it through, she ordered. A voice filled the chamber. Cold. Ancient. Human mark detected, it said. Termination protocol active. Fear rippled through the room. Ethan stepped forward. The princess looked at him. He nodded. Open a channel, she said. The officer hesitated, then obeyed. Ethan faced the screen. I don't know who you are, he said calmly, but we are still here. Silence. Then the voice replied. You were supposed to forget, it said. Ethan looked at his arm. We tried, he answered, but some promises don't die. Something changed. Across the galaxy, humans felt it. A dock worker paused, clutching his arm. A pilot gasped as an old scar glowed. A farmer on a distant moon looked up at the sky with sudden clarity. The awakening spread. Not loud, not fast, but unstoppable. Human ships began to move. Old designs reactivated. Hidden systems came online. Not fleets of power, fleets of purpose. The princess turned to the council members watching remotely. My people stand with Earth, she declared. One by one, other leaders followed. Not because of fear, but because of hope. The enemy realized too late. Humans were not weak. They were restrained. The battle was brutal. Human ships moved in impossible ways. Sacrifices were made. Lives were lost. But the enemy was pushed back. Driven away. Finally silenced. When it ended, Valkar Prime drifted once more in quiet space. Damaged. Scarred. Alive. Ethan stood before the Galactic Council days later. No uniform. No crown. Just a human. The princess stood beside him. The galaxy forgot who saved it, she said. Ethan looked out at the stars. We didn't forget, he replied. We just waited. The council chamber was silent. Humanity had returned. Not as rulers. Not as gods. But as guardians. And this time, the galaxy would remember. And